Hello, my sweet summer children. We need to talk about the dreamer, Helaena Targaryen, and we also need to talk about blood and cheese. So, after episode 1 of House of the Dragon, a lot of people were confused about Helaena Targaryen. Helaena is the gifted sister and wife of Aegon II. She is also the dragon rider of Dreamfire. Helaena is the only member of Team Green that I will ride for until the end of my days. If you feel the same, drop me some green heart emojis so I can know that we're in solidarity for our sweet sis, Helaena. Before we get started, let's address the elephant in the room. The highly anticipated blood and cheese scene was not received the same by everyone. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Some people are saying it was very anticlimactic. So what's the tea? Let me know in the comments if you liked it or if you didn't like it. And if you didn't like it, I want to know why. Overall, I thought it was executed good. The optics of blood and cheese are very hard to put on TV to start with. Like, even Game of Thrones didn't go there. They went a lot of places, but they didn't go there. So I thought visually it's what it needed to be. It's what it needed to be. Nobody needed to see it. Hearing it was almost too much. A lot of people are saying it was underwhelming. It didn't hit like they thought it would and everything in between. People have been gassing blood and cheese for so long. It's the next red wedding, etc., etc. And it's not. And it never had the potential to be. The red wedding was something completely different. The red wedding was shocking. The red wedding was actually devastating. And the most important dynamic that made scenes like the red wedding, the Sept of Baelor, the Mountain and the Viper, what made them iconic scenes, devastating scenes, were that these were characters that we actually loved. We actually empathized with them. We followed them through episode after episode. We saw their ups and downs. We were attached to them, and they were snatched from us when we least expected it. We were never going to have that same reaction to Jaehaerys dying. I'm sorry, we just weren't. He made one cameo in season 1 and one appearance for 30 seconds before he died. He's a character that we don't know, that we have no attachment to. And no matter how bad the optics of the actual blood and cheese in the book are, blood and cheese wasn't supposed to be an ending. Blood and cheese is a catalyst for the wars to come. As I stated on Direwolf City livestream after show, the only criticism I have is Helaena. Helaena, my Helaena. In the books, blood and cheese thing does go down differently. So Helaena has 3 children. She has the twins, Jaehaerys and Jaehaera, and a son named Maelor. When they run down on Helaena, Alicent is actually with her, and they make her choose which son to kill. At first, she begs them to take her, and they tell her if she doesn't choose, they will R-word her daughter until she does. So she ends up choosing Maelor, but they kill Jaehaerys anyway, and they say, "You hear that, little boy? Your mama wants you dead." This drives Helaena absolutely crazy. It's very traumatic. Like, she's psychologically messed up for the rest of her life. She can't even look at Maelor anymore. It's awful. Horrific. And it's like the cornerstone of what little story that she does have in the books. And I'm sorry, but I do like the creative decision to change it, because I'm cool with them changing things up, because Fire and Blood is written by unreliable sources that all contradict with each other. I do like adaptations to stay as close to the source material as they can for narrative purposes, but hear me out. This is why this is why I think Blood and Cheese is actually good. In Fire and Blood, Helaena is nothing more than a dog to kick. It's an endless loop of Joffrey having his Kingsguard slapping Sansa over and over and over and over. Her literal purpose in the books is to be a punching bag for everyone around her. A dragon rider that can no longer ride her dragon. She doesn't eat. She doesn't sleep. Literally, the only thing interesting about her book story is the abuse that she takes until she dies. But in the show, they are doing much more with her character, or at least it seems that way to me.
What Ryan has done is he's kind of adapted Helaena to be a dreamer. So Helaena can see the future, can feel the future and the past.
I love Helaena. She's a bug girl. She loves her insects. She's kind. She has that mysterious, quirky, cool Helaena aesthetic. And she's never done anything wrong or mean to anyone. But Helaena is a dreamer, a seer. And one of the reasons why Blood and Cheese was better than you might think it was is because she sees Blood and Cheese before it even happens. In the beginning of the episode, she tells Aegon that she's scared of the rats. And she stares at the cradle and like just goes off into like a trance. But what I uncovered will blow your mind, because when I saw it, it blew mine. So in season 1, we had multiple visions from Helaena.
Black dragons of flesh, weaving dragons of thread. Hand turns looms.
Dragons of flesh weave dragons of thread. The hand turns the looms. This is at the funeral at Driftmark, where the Greens had a big W with Aemond winning Vhagar to their side. And the Blacks also had a big W, winning Daemon to their side. But Helaena sees the hand turning the loom. So the person weaving this war together is none other than the newly renamed Hand of the King, Sir Otto. She also correctly predicts that Aemon would have to lose his eye to have a dragon.
You will have a dragon one day.
He'll have to close an eye.
She also which is the line that I keep coming back to in episode 8 and 9, is about the moment at the coronation when Rhaenys comes up through the floorboards on her dragon.
And it looks like this season they are going to turn this up even more. So a lot of people said they were upset because Blood and Cheese didn't make Helaena choose between the sons. They didn't need to add that because she already had saw a vision of what would happen if she didn't. And she saw much more than that. Let me show you. So I watched the episode of The House the Dragon Built on HBO. I'll link it below. But they showed Helena's bedroom. Because Helaena is now queen, she has a new room. She has Alicent's old room. And oddly enough, Alicent has Rhaenyra's old room. So Alicent and Christian were humping and bumping in Rhaenyra's old bed. They showed Helena's room. She has graffitied the walls with her visions, and she's wrote them down on paper.
Helaena sees and perceives the world in a different way and cultivates different things out of day-to-day interaction than perhaps you and I would.
Here are some of the stills of the visions. The first one I want to talk about is this one. And this, I'm going to just go ahead and label this spoilers, because this is spoilers if you have not read the books. So it says, the goose kills its own reflection and dies. And you also see twin geese or gooses fighting. You see the high tower sigil with an arrow through it, and you see like a bug. If you're a book reader, you know what this is. This is the Cargyll twins duel at Dragonstone. The Cargyll sigil is a gold goose on black and red stripes. You also see them dueling right here. This was retribution for Blood and Cheese. This has been shown in the trailer, but there are tons of Helena's scribbles on here. On this page, you see the twins, another set of twins. They look like hounds or wolves, but they're identical. And they're both missing heads. I actually think they are foxes. Right before Blood and Cheese, Alicent prays in the sept, and she says a prayer for her mother.
Valerie Florent.
Her mother is from House Florent. This is House Florent's sigil, a fox. So both foxes are missing their head. So it very well could be that Helaena saw, if she did not choose, if she did not tell them which one was Jaehaerys, they would kill them both. But if you look down, you see a baby in a funeral pyre on the same page. Then there is a pig or a boar and a rat king. I think the pig or the boar is Blood, because aside from being in the gold cloaks, he's also a butcher. Like in the books, he's not even a gold cloak anymore. He's a butcher. And the rat king is Cheese, the rat catcher. If you see, the boar eats the fox's head. So Blood is the one that took Jaehaerys' head. There's also multiple faces, a bird, and then right here you see eyes looking on as the boar eats the fox's head. The eyes are hers. The eyes are Helena's. She saw it before it happened. So when it happened, the lines of reality in her dreams started to blur together. She just like grabs the other baby so they don't kill the other baby too and runs. That's why her reaction wasn't what you thought it would be. And I'm sure this is going to be talked about this season. This will be elaborated on, but we haven't given it a chance yet. Think about the trauma of seeing what's going to happen and not being able to convey it or to understand what you're even seeing. And then when you try to warn people, they ignore you and basically call you a fool. So she didn't just offer her son on the chopping block. She knew if she didn't, her daughter would be killed as well. I also think this is blood and cheese because cheese gets away and blood doesn't. And this looks like blood being tortured. But when it comes to her dreams and visions, let me show you this. Helaena sees Daenerys. Helaena has this graffiti that's scribbled on her walls. And if you look at it, you can clearly see that she's seeing the future. Right here, you see Daenerys and the birth of dragons. Helaena is literally seeing hundreds of years into the future, like a Greenseer would, like Bran Stark would. So that's why she doesn't act like you think she would act. If you look here, you can see the crowned stag, Robert Baratheon. The stag is set up in opposition to what might be Daenerys. If you look at the full picture, you'll see the crow's eye and the ships that Euron uses to oppose Daenerys in the wars. And opposite of that is a girl. I think it's Dany and Jon Snow, the crowned wolf, the king in the north. You can also see a raven that would represent Bran and Drogon and Viserion and Rhaegal as well. You also see eyes all over the place, which I think is in a reference to Bloodraven and his 1,000 eyes in one. Helaena is literally getting visions of the Great War. She's getting visions of the War for Dawn. She's getting visions of what's to come with her own children and family. That poor baby's brain is clouded and crowded with a whole bunch of years and years and years of trauma. Your mama wants you dead. We didn't need that. I don't think. Yeah, no. This is a heavy burden to bear. And after what's happened to Helaena, I feel her visions are definitely going to amp up. She's going to have even more visions. And others may start to pay even more attention to her visions and start to take them more serious. But her visions could be bad news for those slinking around the castle trying to be messy. Her visions may definitely make her a target to those who want their secrets to remain secrets. But what do you think? As always, thanks for watching and thanks to everyone who supports me. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.